Okay, welcome everybody to week one digital marketing foundations of our BUAD 200 class. I am Ed Pai, your professor. Let's get into it. So, just having a look at our schedule for the coming weeks, guys, we can see here week one starting January 5th. We have a course introduction, and we're also doing digital marketing foundations. That includes chapter one from Stu Kent. So if you haven't signed up for Stu Kent yet, guys, please make sure that you click on the link at the top of the Moodle page and follow the instructions to sign up for Stu Kent. That will allow you to get the package there, which includes all of the chapters from the book, the quizzes that we're going to be doing as weekly quizzes, and then also the simulation that we're going to be doing in the second half of the semester. Coming up next week, we're going to talk about analytics and digital target markets. But just a couple of key questions for this chapter in terms of the foundations of digital marketing. So firstly, what is digital marketing? How is it different from traditional marketing? What are some of the key online systems or terms that we might need to know when we're doing digital marketing? And then we go on to websites. What are the three main goals of a website? What are the functions of those websites? How do we evaluate if it's doing well? And lastly, conversion. What is conversion within the realm of digital marketing? So I've got a couple of conversation or discussion questions here, guys, that you can have a look at and think about yourself. We're not going to jump too deeply into these. These are connected to your own personal experience, so we won't dwell on these too much. But if you want to pause the video now and just have a think about these questions, these are things that'll prime you for the topics that we're going to be talking about in this lesson. So our first question here is, guys, what is the difference between traditional marketing and digital marketing? Well, when we think about traditional marketing, we think about things like print, broadcast, mailing letters to somebody's house, calling them on the phone, outdoor advertising like billboards or yardage signs. That's pulling information from physical groups of people, research like customer satisfaction surveys, and sales to create a marketing plan. It's obviously more expensive because you've got these very distinct channels like television or radio, billboards, which are going to cost money to put up. It can't be easily updated when you think about some of those things. It takes time to actually do those, which can make it risky, and there's limited customization. If we compare that to digital marketing, it's obviously something that takes place mostly online. When we're thinking about email marketing or social media marketing or web marketing, for example, it gets primary data directly from the internet to create marketing plans. So we can pull analytics from websites, from people's customer journeys. We can use those for our marketing strategies. It's through various channels like web browsers, phone networks, social media, and smart TVs. And we'll have a look at IoTs, the Internet of Things, all of the devices that provide analytics for us next week. It's obviously got a larger audience because it's going out to the whole internet. Can be less expensive depending on what you're doing and how big your reach is. And obviously, it's got lots of customization. The key thing to mention here is that digital marketing shares the same foundations as traditional marketing. It's just done online. So when we think about those fundamentals that are shared between both of these, we can think about the strategies of the companies. These stay the same. The company mission, their vision, their goals, these are all going to remain relatively similar across your traditional and your digital marketing strategies. The value that we're trying to provide to customers is going to remain the same. So your USP and your UVP, your unique selling proposition. So what's better about your company than other companies? What's unique about it? What's the unique value proposition that you bring to consumers? So that's going to remain pretty similar unless you're getting into becoming an actual online company, which obviously provides a whole new range of value propositions for consumers. The marketing mix is going to remain fairly similar, although we might be focusing on different areas of it. Product, we're talking about the 4 Ps here: product, promotion, place, and price. So when we're thinking about our product, we're creating value. Now, with digital marketing, that might become more relevant when we're talking about online services, like a streaming platform, for example. If we're talking about Netflix, how do they create their value as a product through an online service? The promotion of it, that's going to be big in digital marketing. Obviously, there's lots of ways to promote your products through various different platforms. We'll be talking about those throughout the course. The place where your products are delivered and where people can get access to them. That's obviously quite valuable as a physical asset. But, when we go back and think about things like streaming services or subscription sites, that place is going to be different for the digital world. And then price is something that, it's relevant no matter what you're talking about. The last one that might remain the same, guys, is the marketing funnel. So, how do we actually attract and convert customers? So, we'll be talking about the ADA model. That's a framework that discusses the process from attracting customers to actually getting them to take action. We'll talk about the general customer journey in terms of what they're looking for when they go through the decision making process to actually buy a product. We'll talk about touch points, so those different spots along the journey that companies can target to actually get people to engage with their own journey with that company. And then something that you may not have heard of, but tofu, mofu, and bofu. When we're talking about funnels, we're talking about the top of the funnel, the middle of the funnel, and the bottom of the funnel. Obviously, the top is where we're trying to attract a large number of customers into it. The middle is where we're actually getting them to take interest and create desire for the product. And then the bottom is where we're actually trying to take action. So we'll be referring to these terms a few times throughout the course. But obviously, that's the same for traditional and digital. We're trying to funnel people towards a purchase with all of our different types of marketing. Okay, moving on. When we're thinking about the different types of strategies that we could take as digital marketers, there's quite a few different options. Some people take just one option, some people take a multi strategy approach. But when we're thinking about the different types of strategies, there's a lot. So we could talk about the website, so how you actually set up your website, how you design it, what the user experience is there. Social media is the same, how you set up your social media, who you target, what type of content you create. We've obviously got SEO, which is search engine optimization. So, how do we make our website the most optimized so that it pops up in search results like Google, for example? Google being a huge part of this course, because obviously the Google search engine is the most commonly used search engine in the world today. But there's new platforms coming in. ChatGPT, AI is taking its place amongst those. But for right now, Google is one of the big ones. Social media marketing, we obviously mentioned that. So how do we market on social media? SEM is search engine marketing. So those are in contrast to SEO, which is all of the things you can do to your website to make it look good. SEM, or paid search marketing, is when you're actually paying money to get your results to the top of a Google search page, the sponsored ads that you'll see on Google. Mobile marketing, obviously a new and emerging area because most people are shopping on their phones now, or looking for things on their phones. So there's a lot of things like geolocation, geofencing, where we can target people based on their location. So mobile marketing, obviously texting as well as a big one. So we'll be having a look at that. Email marketing is still the best return on investment in terms of a digital marketing strategy. It's obviously very targeted to people, but we'll have a look at some different ways that will work. We'll look at different funnels around email marketing as well. Display ads, which you may not know, but those are the annoying ads that pop up on your websites, on your phones, the little visual ads that you'll see on a website, which is all based on the analytics and what you're doing on the web. So we'll have a look at those as well. Obviously, affiliate marketing is when you are marketing on behalf of someone else. So that could include influencers. It could include websites that have links to other sites where you can go and buy a product from another site. So that's something that we can do. And then obviously content marketing spans the whole range here. So, we might be creating content in our emails. We might be doing it in our mobile marketing. We might be doing it on our websites or our social media. So how we design our content and what type of content plans we come up with for them are important as well. And then if we just jump into this visual here, we can see a couple of different things. When we talk about blogging or podcasting or website content, these are all forms of content marketing, YouTube as well. So these kind of cover a lot of the different areas and different strategies that we might take. The next thing to talk about is what type of channels we might be using as part of our digital marketing strategies. So are we just using a single channel, like email, for example? Are we just trying to target our customers and promote our company through a single channel? That's good. I mean, you can choose the best options. It is interesting to just allocate your resources, your finances into one area and see how that goes. Some people are doing that. Some people are taking a multi-channel approach where you've got multiple different areas. They might be doing email. They might be doing mobile marketing. They might be using their websites for marketing as well. So taking a multi-channel approach. But really, if we want to be good digital marketers, we want to get to the omni-channel approach, where it's not so much about the channel that we're trying to use and trying to get the best out of each individual channel. It's where we're actually coming up with a message that's based on consumer data, it's based on a consumer experience, and it's shared right across all of our channels. So we're using those channels to create a consistent user experience right across the board. So we get that consistent brand image and a heightened sense of familiarity with the brand. So we'll be looking at these different channels as well. Okay, next thing to talk about is the internet, because obviously all of this wouldn't be possible without the internet. So there's a couple of key digital terms that we should go over before we actually continue with the course. These are not as important for marketing, but if you're doing things like setting up websites, if you're linking to different areas, you might come across these terms and you might be like, what does all of this mean? So let's have a look at some of these terms. You could just pause here and maybe have a look down this list of terms here, see if you know what all of these mean. And now that you've done that, let's just jump into them and actually see what they are. So ISP is our internet service provider. So these are the companies that are actually providing you internet. You obviously have a plan each month that you would pay for, and they are the ones actually providing you with access to the internet. The web hosts and the web servers are the companies that are actually providing you with a website. So these are sites that you can go on, like the Amazon Web Services or GoDaddy or Google, where you can go on and actually build a website, design your website on these platforms, these hosts, and they will provide all of the server space, all of the sort of the brain for your website. So that's where all of your content would be stored on the web servers there. And there's lots of big companies there. Amazon's been one of the biggest growing ones in recent times, but there's still a few more independent ones like GoDaddy or HostGator that have stayed in the game. Next thing to think about is the web browser. Probably everybody knows this. When you're thinking about getting on the internet, you are going to want to use some software to access it. So that's where your web browser comes in, your Chrome, your Safaris, your Edges, the browser that you actually use to access the internet. Now we get into a couple more technical terms here, TCP and IP. So the main thing to remember here, guys, is the P, which is the protocol. So basically, these are the rules and the systems that are set up to control how data moves around the internet, right? So when we're talking about TCP, we're talking about transmission control protocol. So what are the protocols for data moving around the internet? And then internet protocols, obviously the broader range around that. This controls things like HTTP, so your hypertext transfer protocol. So what are the safety and security measures around how information is sent? HTML, the hypertext markup language. So that's actually the code that is used to create text and images and everything that you see on the internet. So that's all controlled by different protocols, guys. There's a number of different options there. When you talk about POP mail, POP3 is a different type of protocol that's used to send emails around. And there's a number of different abbreviations there that refer to the language of the internet, the protocols of the internet. So we won't get too deep into those. We don't need them that much throughout the course. We're looking more at the marketing parts of it, but it's good to know. IP address, oops, that's out of order. Let's just come back here. The IP address is obviously your internet protocol address. So this is essentially the number that's given to your computer when it connects to the internet. So that's your internet, your computer's internet address. Then when we talk about DNS, that's the domain name system. So when your computer is talking to the internet, obviously it needs to, if you're like typing in a website like bestbuy.com, that will also have an IP address. So it'll go to the domain name server, the DNS, the system, and figure out which number connects to which name. And that's when we get into the name. So what is the actual name of your website? So www.bestbuy.ca, for example, that's going to have an IP address connected to it. And the DNS, the domain name system, is what connects everything together. When we're talking about a subdomain, we're talking about a different section of a website. So, for example, on Best Buy, we might look at the different news there, right? So that's a subdomain, a different area of that website. And then lastly, when we're looking at a URL, that's the actual page address. So that's just a single page address that you might go to see different information. So like a product on Best Buy, for example. There's a video here that you guys can watch just about packets, routing, and reliability, basically how information travels around the internet. I'll let you guys watch that. I'll leave the link up there so you can see it later on. But basically, that just talks about how the system remains consistent and reliable. Okay, just moving on to websites in general. So this is moving more back into the marketing realms of things rather than the technical side of things. So what are the three main goals of a website in relation to digital marketing? Right, so that's what we're thinking about. What do we actually, when we create a website and we are, part of a company, what are we actually trying to do with our website and our digital marketing in general? But there's three main goals that we want to look at, guys. Number one is generating traffic. So basically, how do we get people to our site? A physical store, bricks and mortar store is going to want to get foot traffic in. They're going to want to get people into the store so they can buy products. Exactly the same for a website. How do we get as many people coming to the site, which increases our chances of somebody purchasing something? Now, this is what we talk about when we talk about conversion. So we get, so many people, so much traffic coming to our website. What we want to do is convert them. So conversion doesn't just mean buying a product. It can mean them leaving their email address, could mean them subscribing to a site. It could just be getting that lead. It could be them downloading something. There's a number of different types of conversion. Traditionally, we're talking about business. So traditionally, the idea of conversion means getting them to buy a product. So that is kind of when people talk about conversion, that's the main thing that they're talking about. But there are a number of different things that conversion can refer to. It's basically just trying to get one of your users to do what you want them to do. And then obviously for companies that are, or websites that are looking to make money, how do we increase the revenue per conversion? So how do we get more money per purchase on our website? And that can be done through a number of different ways. It's not just about pricing. It comes down to how do we reduce the costs of digital marketing so that we get more people there and we're actually making more revenue per sale. So just looking at how websites actually make money, there's a number of different ways. We can think about direct sales, obviously selling a product, advertising when they advertise other people's websites or other people's products. We can talk about affiliate commissions. So if somebody is asking you to put a link to their products on their website, and then you actually get a commission from when somebody clicks on that link, that can be a way to make money. Subscriptions, obviously, when we're talking about a site like Netflix, subscriptions is something that makes them all their money. And then potentially a mixed model, so a number of different things on there. Websites like Amazon will have a number of different models and revenue streams. Okay, so as we mentioned there, guys, traffic is one of your main goals for your website. So what are the sources? So where does traffic actually come from? So the first thing is direct traffic. So this is basically just typing in the name of the website. So going straight into a browser and typing it in. Now, if you've got a big, well-known website like Facebook or CNN.com, those are memorable names. People are going to be able to do that no problem. It's nice and easy to type in. You're not going to get spelling issues. So people, instead of like clicking on a link, might just go directly to the website. So that's what we're talking about with direct traffic. We're also looking at paid and unpaid referral traffic. So that's when there is a link somewhere else on somebody else's website, whether that is paid for or not. Somebody clicks on that link and then it takes them to the website. If you think about a local website like Castanet, for example, like a local news website, they'll have links to lots of different sites that you can click on, which is going to take you to different areas. Obviously, search traffic is a huge one. People using sites like Google and Bing. So searching you up, that could either be an organic search or it could be a paid search. As we mentioned before, SEO is the process of optimizing your website so that you get the best search results. SEM, or paid search marketing, is when you're actually paying to get ads on Google. We could also have email links, so traffic that comes from targeted emails, social media links, people linking over from social media. And there's obviously a number of other ways where we have links that people can click to our website. But the goal should always be to increase traffic. Because if we increase our traffic, we increase the number of people coming to our website. That increases our chances of conversion. So converting those customers. So as I mentioned there, guys, conversion is when someone completes your desired action, like signing up for a newsletter, sharing a blog post, or traditionally buying a product. So here is our formula for conversion rate. So how many actions did people take? So for example, how many sales did you get, if that's your conversion goal, versus how many people actually visited the site. If your conversion goal is to get people to download a file, for example, so how many times did people download that file divided by how many people actually visited the site, right? So conversion's a big thing, guys. It's basically our goal for our digital marketing is to figure out what our goals for our site is and then get people to convert. We can see here if we had 15 sales by 500 visits, so 500 people visited the site, you would have about a 3% conversion rate. And can anybody tell me if that's good or bad? That is actually pretty good. If you are getting up above 3%, depending on what industry you're in, of course, but for e-commerce, for example, most industries, if you're getting up above 2.5 and above 3%, you're actually doing really well. So that is an interesting thing to think about. Okay, let's move on here, guys. Have a look at a couple of these different websites. What do we think their type of website is? And then what would be their conversion goal? If we looked at a platform like Netflix, we could probably say that that is going to be I guess we haven't got streaming on here, but that would be a streaming website. And their number one conversion goal there, guys, is going to be subscriptions, right? When we talk about Amazon, Amazon shopping is going to be an e-commerce platform. Their number one goal there is going to be online sales. When we're thinking about something like the Red Cross, for example, that's going to be probably a lead generation platform where they want to get people signing up, getting their emails in, so then that they can get people to come out and give blood. That's going to be something for awareness for causes. So go through those ones there, guys, and see if you can figure out what the type of website is and what the conversion goal might be. And then we'll have a look at some of the secondary conversions that you might get from a website. So, retail, an e-commerce site like Amazon shopping, the primary conversion might be to make sales, but then they might have a secondary conversion goal for people to create accounts, for people to sign up for emails, for people to get premium accounts. Those are all secondary conversion goals for a site like Amazon. A search engine like Google, they might want people booking on it, or Trivago or Expedia, something like that. But they also want them to click on ads so that they can get affiliate marketing money. So there's a couple of different ways we can look at primary and secondary conversion. A social media site, obviously they're trying to get you to create an account, but then once you've created your account, they want you to create content. They want you to engage and interact with content as well. So yeah, guys, you can have a look through these, have a look at different types of websites, look at the primary types of conversion, and then obviously the secondary types of conversion as well. Okay, so that's the end of the information for this video lecture. But what we do have is an activity where you can have a look at roguefitness.com. So if you go to the website roguefitness.com, I want you guys to have a look at it and then answer. There's about 5 questions in the activity forum there. So if you jump into that forum, have a look at the website and then answer those questions. It's asking about what we think the conversion goals of the website are, who their target audience might be. So just go through those questions and then answer that, and we'll continue that conversation in the forum there. Also, don't forget, guys, we are, for this week, doing quiz number 1, which will be in Moodle. It's a Stucant quiz, but it will be in Moodle. And also make sure that you finish the activity. Okay, bye for now.